Do you know the secret to success? Have you ever wondered why some people win while others lose? Why do some climb mountains and others give up before they even start? Let me tell you a story that might change your life forever. But before we begin, promise yourself one thing: listen to every word carefully. Don't stop in the middle, because what I'm about to share can unlock the door to your dreams. Are you ready? Let's dive in. There was once a young man named Ayan. He lived in a small village surrounded by tall hills and thick forests. Ayan had big dreams. He wanted to do something great, but he faced many problems. Every morning, he woke up with questions in his heart. Why is my life so hard? Why do I keep failing? Is it even worth trying anymore? One day, while sitting under an old tree, he saw an ant carrying a crumb of bread. The crumb was too big for the tiny ant, but it kept climbing a rock with it. Each time it reached halfway, the crumb slipped and the ant fell. Ayan thought, "This poor ant. Why doesn't it give up?" But the ant didn't stop. It climbed again and again. On the 10th try, it finally made it to the top. Ayan's heart skipped a beat. He whispered to himself, "If this tiny ant can do it, why can't I?" But life wasn't that simple. The next morning, Ayan's problems felt heavier. His father was sick, and his family was poor. He wanted to study, but there was no money for books or school. Every time he tried to find a way, a new difficulty would appear. Do you know what that feels like? When no matter how hard you try, the world seems to push you back. One evening, as Ayan walked through the forest, he met an old man sitting by a river. The man's face was kind, and his eyes sparkled with wisdom. Ayan felt like he could share anything with him. So, he poured his heart out. "I try and fail, over and over. I don't know what to do anymore." The old man smiled and said, "Do you want to know the secret to success?" Ayan nodded eagerly. The old man reached into his bag and pulled out a small mirror. "Look into this," he said. Ayan saw his own tired face staring back at him. "What does this mean?" Ayan asked, confused. The old man replied, "The secret to success lies in you. Problems are not your enemy, they are your teachers. They come to make you stronger." Ayan didn't understand at first. "But my problems are too big," he said. The old man laughed softly. "Let me tell you a story," he said. "Once, there was a boy who wanted to be the fastest runner. He trained every day, but he kept losing races. One day, he decided to quit. But his coach told him, each loss is a lesson. It shows you what to fix. Keep going, and you'll win." The boy listened. He didn't quit, and one day he became the champion. Ayan thought about the story all night. He decided to face his problems, not run from them. Slowly, he started working harder. He found ways to earn money for his family and save for his studies. It wasn't easy. There were days when he cried, days when he wanted to give up. But every time he felt weak, he remembered the ant and the old man's words, "Problems are your teachers." Now, let me ask you, how do you see your problems? Do you think they are here to break you? Or do you believe they are here to build you? Life is like a river, full of rocks and strong currents. It doesn't flow smoothly, but it always finds its way. Like Ayan, you might face days when everything feels too heavy. You might think about giving up. But remember, success doesn't come to those who quit. It comes to those who keep walking, no matter how hard the path is. There was a moment when Ayan's little sister fell ill. The family had no money for her treatment. Ayan felt a deep pain in his heart. He prayed, he cried, and for a second he thought, maybe life is unfair, but then he stood up. He worked day and night, doing small jobs. He borrowed money, made promises, and didn't stop until his sister was well again. That moment changed him forever. If you feel lost right now, if your heart is heavy, don't worry. You are not alone. Every successful person you see today has a story like Ayan's. They have all faced failure, fear, and doubt. They have cried, fallen, and stood back up. Do you know why? Because they knew that every storm ends, and after the rain, the sun always shines. Are you still with me? Good. Because the story doesn't end here. In fact, it's just beginning. Imagine your life 5 years from now. Where do you want to be? What kind of person do you want to become? Keep that image in your mind. Hold on to it tightly, because that dream is your guide. Every time you face a problem, remind yourself, this is just a step toward my dream. Ayan's journey didn't get easier overnight. Each day brought new challenges, and sometimes the problems seemed too big to handle. But something had changed in him. He stopped seeing his problems as roadblocks and started treating them like stepping stones. Every time he faced a new challenge, he asked himself, what can I learn from this? One morning, Ayan was walking through the village when he heard people shouting. A fire had broken out in a nearby house. Without thinking, Ayan rushed to help. He joined the villagers, carrying water and rescuing people trapped inside. By the end of the day, everyone was safe, but Ayan was exhausted. As he sat by the river, the old man appeared again. You've changed, the old man said with a smile. Ayan nodded. I still have problems, he admitted, but I don't feel weak anymore, the old man chuckled. That's because you've found your strength. You've learned that success isn't about having an easy life. It's about facing your problems and growing through them. Ayan felt a warmth in his heart. For the first time, he realized that life wasn't about avoiding difficulties. It was about becoming stronger with each challenge. But life had more lessons in store for him. One day, a letter arrived from a city far away. It was an invitation to join a school for young inventors. Ayan's heart raced with excitement. This was his chance to follow his dreams. But there was a catch: he needed money for travel and school fees. Ayan's family didn't have the money. His parents told him, "It's okay, Ayan. Some dreams aren't meant to come true," but Ayan refused to give up. He decided to work harder than ever before. He did everything he could. He worked in the fields, cleaned houses, and even sold handmade toys in the market. People laughed at him. "You'll never make it," they said. "You're just a poor boy from a small village." But Ayan didn't let their words stop him. He kept working, day and night. And then, one evening, something magical happened. A stranger in the market noticed Ayan's determination. He was an old merchant who had traveled to many places. And he asked, "Why are you working so hard, young man?" Ayan told him about his dream. The merchant was so inspired that he decided to help. He gave Ayan the money he needed and said, "Promise me one thing. When you achieve your dreams, help others like I'm helping you today." Ayan's eyes filled with tears. He promised to never forget the kindness of strangers and to always give back. When Ayan arrived at the school, he felt out of place. The other students were from rich families, and they looked at him like he didn't belong. But Ayan didn't let that bother him. He worked harder than anyone else. He stayed up late, reading books by candlelight, and practiced every skill until he mastered it. One day, the school held a competition to design a new invention. Ayan's hands trembled as he presented his idea: a simple machine to help farmers in his village. The judges were amazed. Ayan not only won the competition, but his invention also gained national attention. Suddenly, the boy who had been laughed at became a hero. But Ayan didn't let success change him. He remembered his promise. He returned to his village and used his knowledge to help others. He taught children to read, helped farmers improve their crops, and inspired everyone to believe in their dreams. But do you think his story ended here? No, life is full of ups and downs. Success is not a destination, it's a journey. Even after achieving so much, Ayan faced new problems. Some people envied him, and others tried to bring him down. But Ayan had learned the most important lesson of all: problems are not here to stop us. They are here to shape us. Now, think about your own life. What are the problems you're facing right now? Are they pushing you down, or are they teaching you something valuable? If Ayan could rise above his struggles, so can you.